everyone, and welcome to my January plan with me video. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before, and welcome for the first time if this is your first time here. This month, January, I decided to go with a koi carp pond theme. It's a theme that I've been seeing a lot on Pinterest for literal years, and every time I come across a spread with these koi carp illustrations, I pin it, but for some reason I never did it as a theme myself in my own bullet journal, so I'm really happy today to be coming in and changing that with this setup. The first page, just on the left hand side, is a quote, and it says, "I have decided that this will be a very good year," and I chose that quote because I really loved the positivity of it, and I found it really empowering that it suggests that that's a decision that can be made. I mentioned in my previous video, in my 2021 plan with me, that a lot of things this year are completely out of my hands and out of my control, but I can still make the decision to greet things positively and to have a good attitude going into the year, even though I can't control what does go on this year. So yeah, that's why I chose this quote. It's really lovely, positive, empowering, yeah. I really enjoy this koi carp theme because it gives you a really nice colour scheme. So the colours that I use later on are orange and brown for the fish, and then like green lily pads and blue bubbles, and they're all contrasting colours, so they really pop together. So it's a really pleasing colour scheme to look at. And I'm using a Yop and Tom journal, which is fantastic to use with watercolours because the pages are really nice and thick, and the colour of them is also like a pure white rather than an off-white. So the colours that you see on the page are really true to the colours that you mix, which is so useful. And I also, for Christmas, I got a set of Kaleiro pearl colours, and included with those was a free sample of the shade Vibrant Yellow, and it's not the sort of shade that I would pick out for myself, so it's really fortunate that that came as a free sample. It's sort of neon, and normally I would choose to have a gold rather than a yellow. But I realised that it would be a very nice little pop of metallic shine for this theme in particular, and the colour of it is actually perfect with these colours, like it works so well. So I was really pleased with that. But I'm just finishing up this 2-page spread here with the brown for the koi carp's fins and tail and a few of the splotches, so soon you will be able to see the finished product. Wait for it. There we go, there it is, the finished product of the spread. And you can see what I mean about the colour scheme and that vibrant yellow and how they all work together. So the following page is a calendar just of the month alone, which is really useful to just see the dates that are coming up and I can refer back to. I've also got quite a few assessments that are due this month, so having a calendar spread where I can just mark those down and see on one page, okay, that's coming up, it's going to be really useful for this month. The writing that I'm doing throughout this setup, I thought I was going to go for something more calligraphy-y, that's a word in case you were wondering, but instead I went for this sort of like funky handwritten font, and I think it's really cute. I think the whole setup would have been more elegant if I'd gone for calligraphy, but the way that I drew the koi fish, they look kind of cartoonish and like cute and sweet, so it wasn't that elegant to begin with. So I think having this like funky mismatched handwritten font is fine for that. And I'm just moving on to drawing the lines for my habit trackers here. And oh my gosh, I made so many mistakes when I was doing this. I was just sat with my ruler, and I don't think I did 4 habit tracker boxes, and I don't think that there's one of the 4 where I didn't just carry on drawing the line when I should have stopped. And it's marked quite clearly. You can see that I do everything in pencil before I start, so I don't understand how I managed to bugger it up quite that badly, but yeah, it was easy enough to correct. Because the pages are so white, another useful thing, thank you Yop and Tom, I just could go over them with a white acrylic paint and you can't tell, but looking at it there, oh my gosh, it's so obvious that I made so many mistakes. But it's fine, nobody's perfect, least of all me. So sorry if that bothers you, but I promise it gets fixed. You can't tell in the next few clips. So all around these 2 pages are some koi carp paintings that are just like swimming around the pages. I thought that they were going to be a lot harder to draw, but they weren't at all. I wonder if that's maybe why I put it off for a few years, because I was like, oh, no way could I draw those. But yeah, they're really simple. It's just a little like teardrop shape and then drawing in the details of the fins and the tail, and that's about it really. So yes, don't be afraid. If you think that illustrations look at all complicated, quite often you can just break them down into simpler shapes, and it's nowhere near as difficult as you thought it was going to be. I've been really enjoying painting with watercolours in my journal recently, especially because these pages are so thick so they don't buckle and warp or anything. But I've been thinking for a while about trying out gouache paints, but I'm sort of hesitant to get a set because the kind of things that I want to paint, I really could get the same results with oil paints, and I already own oil paints, so I wouldn't have to buy any new paint or anything. But oil paint takes such a long time to dry that it really puts me off doing an oil painting. So I have been leaning towards maybe getting a set of gouache paints. So if you guys have used gouache before, do you have any sets that you can recommend? Are there any go-to brands, any surprisingly brilliant sets that don't cost an arm and a leg, just to give a go with gouache? Please do let me know, leave your recommendations in the comments, I'd really appreciate that. So here's that finished spread with the calendar and the habit trackers. Okay, so my weekly spreads for this month, I went for a Dutch door idea. This is another kind of thing that I see a lot on Pinterest, is people cutting out the edge of the pages to give different shapes or just different styles of planning, and I really love it actually. We're already halfway through January, obviously, so I've been using them and it's a really good setup. It really works for me, so that's good to give things a go that you see on Pinterest. So to start with, I just drew out the illustrations on the first page and the last page, counted out all the pages beforehand, and then I drew the lines for each day of the month. So I've got 31 day boxes for my to-do lists, and because there's 4 boxes on each page, I've also got like a notes slot towards the end that's the same size. And then the 2 remaining full-length sections on the very last page of these is a space to write a longer to-do list for like the whole month. So currently it's just full of assessment deadlines, which is really not at all stressful to look at. And I've also got space to the side of that for a monthly review, so I can sit back at the end of the month and just review how I felt about the month as a whole. So then I went off camera and I just cut every page that I needed to cut so that you can see the front and back page from wherever you are in the month, which is really fab because you can still see the fish, but I didn't have to paint about 8 pages worth of fish, so that's a good idea. Good time saver, go for a Dutch tour and then you've only got to paint them once. Yeah, the Dutch door is something that I see quite a bit on like Pinterest and on Instagram and here on YouTube as well, and it's not something that I ever really gave a go before because I was like, okay, I'm definitely gonna mess this up and hack into my bullet journal and have instant regrets. So I am really glad that it's worked for me as well as it has, and I think it came out really pretty as well. Let me know what you guys think. Do you prefer just keeping the pages normal, or do you think that the Dutch door spreads are a good idea? And here you can see how my weekly spreads look as a whole, all done with the yellow accents and the watercolour all dry. They're really pretty. I'm so pleased with how this came out. But anyway, here's the final flip through, so please let me know what you think of this theme and this setup. I would love to hear what you think. Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more bullet journaling content soon. Hint hint, I've already done February, so that should be coming up soon. Thank you so much for watching, have a lovely day and goodbye!